And now, words of wisdom with Adam Carriker.
I don't want to sound like a tough guy or anything, but I play the Wii remote without the wrist strap on.
And with that, we welcome you to Fourth and Pain, the only pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player and a weight loss champion. He's Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker.
Howdy.
I'm former wrestling announcer turned weight loss champion Chuck Carroll, and this here, boys and girls, is Fourth and Pain. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Fourth and Pain. And in addition to listening Sunday mornings right here on 106.7 The Fan, join us each and every weekday, high noon Eastern, fourthandpain.com for fresh content. And as always, Adam, those shows, low calorie and high energy.
And we're striving for just above average, right below good.
That's right. We're not quite good, but it's a good thing that you are here. Thank you so very much. Good Sunday morning. And it's a good Sunday for a number of your teammates who are waking up today in Hawaii, my man.
It is. I want to give a congratulations to Ryan Kerrigan, to London Fletcher, who were added to the Pro Bowl roster this week, as well as Trent Williams, Lorenzo Alexander, and Robert won't be playing, obviously, but he is a Pro Bowler as well.
That's right. I mean, just a huge addition. You talk about guys like London Fletcher. This is a guy, okay, had 139 total tackles this season, led the team in tackles, and as we know, this guy is 57 years old.
I mean, he hasn't missed a start or a game in since the First World War?
Something like that.
The guy, it's amazing. I mean, you talk about all these quarterbacks. Brett Favre had 293 straight starts. Peyton Manning started his whole career, never missed a game until the neck injury. Eli is well into the 200s right now. To me, the difference is, and no disrespect, they're quarterbacks, but they don't take the every play pounding, getting hit every play like a London Fletcher middle linebacker does. And to me, that's even more impressive than what the quarterbacks have done.
The stalwart since Normandy, but then you look at Ryan Kerrigan in his second season, he notches 54 tackles, but leads the team in sacks at 8.5. I mean, this guy was on fire since week one.
You know, I do have a knock against Ryan, though.
What's that?
A year ago, he didn't miss a play. I heard he missed like 1 or 2 plays this year.
Well, you know, he had to take time, go on to the sidelines, and polish that Fourth and Pain championship belt, which he got 3 times.
He did. Well, which is bigger, the Pro Bowl nod or three Fourth and Pain championships?
Well, you know, obviously I'm biased, so I'm going Fourth and Pain championship.
I'm not biased, and I'm going to say Fourth and Pain championship. Absolutely. There it is.
Other Pro Bowlers, of course, Trent Williams. We've talked about him previously on the show. This is a guy who goes from just a knucklehead to a Pro Bowl, completely turned around his career in one season, really took to heart turning his career around, wanted that drug-related suspension essentially off his record, goes out there, plays his tail off, and now he's in Hawaii. Obviously, RG3, Robert Griffin III, recovering from knee surgery. Can't say enough about what this guy has been able to do. But then the fifth and final Redskins player to be at the Pro Bowl, Lorenzo Alexander, for the first time in his career, long overdue, makes it as a member of special teams.
By far the most overdue Pro Bowler this year is Lorenzo Alexander. He's been the best special teams player in this league for at least the past 2 or 3 seasons, if not the past 5 or 6. The guy goes out there. He's asked to lose 20 pounds like every other minute. He's asked to change positions about every 2 minutes, and he does it. And he doesn't complain, and he does it successfully, and he is still always that stalwart on special teams, down there making the big hits on the kickoffs. And you talk about Trent Williams. I'm very proud of Trent to go from everything that happened at the end of the season a couple years ago to being a Pro Bowler, a team captain 1 year later. That just shows his dedication, his hard work, and really the change in his attitude, and it was recognized by his teammates and his peers.
Taking things a little bit more seriously, but let's take a couple of minutes, Adam, and look at some of your teammates who could be on the Pro Bowl roster next season. I think really if you start that discussion, you need to start at Alfred Morris, who was an alternate this year to go to Hawaii. 335 carries, sets the franchise record in rushing yardage, over 1,600 yards with 13 touchdowns. Rookie season, can't say it enough, 6th-round draft pick out of Florida Atlantic, comes out there and just shines as big and as bright as any running back in Redskins history.
Well, I'm not sure how he didn't make it. He's the second leading rusher in the entire NFL, breaks the Redskins' single season rushing record, wins the Fourth and Pain title four times. I mean,
that was the record right there.
That is by far the biggest indicator he should have made it to Hawaii. And he's second team All-Pro. How do you make second team All-Pro and yet not get to the Pro Bowl?
That is a good question, my man.
I'm just saying I would be shocked if he's not there next year. I'll put it that way.
I think that's the effect of playing in Robert's shadow. this year, but
Most
I think
likely.
that he's made enough noise. He's made enough of a name for himself where next year he will be seriously. He's not going to be this guy that comes out of nowhere. He's going to be expected to be a leader. I'm not saying that he's going to be thrown in there immediately with Adrian Petersons of the world, but people are going to expect an awful lot out of this guy. And as you know, the Shanahan system, they love to run the ball. So I expect for him to have more opportunities like he had this season in 2013.
Well, what I love about next year is actually we're going to have a three-headed monster. We're going to have Alfred Morris, Evan Royster, and then Roy Halou's going to be coming back. He's going to be healthy. So we're going to have a whole trio of running backs that can run that football.
You're a Nebraska guy, and then you look at receivers. Pierre Garçon, had he been able to stay healthy this entire season, easily would have led the Redskins in receiving. The chemistry he displayed with Robert was second to none. 44 catches, 633 yards, 4 touchdowns, a number of which, many, many yards, really came out there week 1 in New Orleans, had that long touchdown, set the season, set the plate for him and Robert's chemistry for the rest of the season. I think if healthy, this guy is going to Honolulu next year.
Oh, absolutely. He's got speed, acceleration. He brings an attitude to the field. He's by far, I'm not going to say by far, but he's our most explosive player on offense. He has the ability to just take a screen pass and take it 80 yards like he did against the Saints.
And then turning our attention to special teams, our Divas champion, our Fourth and Pain Divas champion, Kai Forbath. I think Mr. Consistency, had he been in Washington the whole season, he's another one that would have had consideration.
He missed 1 field goal the whole year. I thought he might actually somehow sneak in the back door, but the fact that he came in late probably prohibited him from going to Hawaii. But if he repeats his performance of last year again next year, I would be shocked if he's not there as well.
And real quick, I'm going to bow this one to you. Defensively, is there anybody on the Redskins roster who you think could be in Honolulu next year that isn't there this year?
I mean, London Fletcher has become a staple in Hawaii, and he had 139 tackles. Right behind him was Perry Riley with 129. And Perry he's got speed, he's got acceleration. He's by far our fastest linebacker, and he's not shy about telling people about it either. He's much confidence in his own speed. You look at a guy like Rob Jackson, who really started to emerge at the end of the year. The more playing time he gets, the better he's going to get. He had about 5 sacks, 4.5 sacks this year. Let's say he plays the whole season like that because coming into the season, he knows what to expect. He knows he's going to play a lot more. He could get around 8 or 9 sacks. So you never know what you could get out of a guy like Rob Jackson as well.
And you're listening to Fourth and Pain. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. And so many guys that you could throw their name in the hat. Tweet us your suggestions at Fourth and Pain. Always curious, which Redskins players do you expect to see in the Pro Bowl in 2013? But Adam, I want to flip the script, as you say. I want to bring on your wife because it's time for the Pulse.
What are we going to talk about this week?
Well, see,
Peyton's
here's the thing.
not playing.
You notice it's no longer the Peyton Pulse. This is simply
we did change it.
The Pulse. Angie Carriker, are you with us?
I am here.
Well, hello. Thank you for joining us. And the question this week on The Pulse, we have about 4 minutes to discuss this. Rather than talk about Peyton Manning, Angie, I want to talk about somebody that's near and dear to your heart and near and dear to my heart, a man whom we know very, very well. I want to talk about your husband.
Oh, boy.
And so I'm curious, I don't know if you heard the open of the show. He claims to be a tough guy because he plays the Wii without the wrist controller. But my question is he really all that tough? How has it been? How is his rehab going? Has he been crying like a little baby?
Well, would you like the politically correct answer?
Oh,
Yes.
no, just
Yes.
let it all out
Please.
there. This is your opportunity to just let loose.
Oh, boy.
Well, here it is, though. Politically speaking, he's going to be out on the field dominating next year. So watch out, O-linemen and quarterbacks.
I like it. I concur.
It's been rough. It was a rough fall for us. I was on bed rest and when he got hurt, and
She was
it's
pregnant.
just been really a whirlwind, and having a newborn and a husband on crutches and a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, it was a very busy household. But he's off crutches. He is bending his knee. He's doing rehab like crazy. He is rehab has been a full-time job, along with being a dad, a husband, working out, doing all that.
Don't
So
forget Fourth and
it's
Pain.
been rough, but he has been really, really good, and
Well, that's
I'm really proud of him.
That's a fine politically correct answer. I mean, seriously,
I'm waiting for the punchline
my
from
heart
you.
is just, you touched
Oh, boy.
my heart just then, Angie. But seriously, he makes so much fun of me on the show, and here I have just a
What?
couple of minutes left
What?
to kind of just get in a couple of jabs because I
Uh,
think that wouldn't it be nice, Angie, if you told me a story about, oh, Adam just being reduced to whining like a little girl at some point because he's at his wit's end with this surgery. How much of a little child has he reverted into since he's been laid up with this knee surgery?
Well, he started out as a baby because he just needed a lot of attendance when he was first out of surgery. Then, he grew into a toddler. Then, still needed mommy around. Then, elementary school age, he's kind of getting it by himself and stuff. And then right now, he would probably be considered like a teenager because he still can't drive. Because it's his right leg,
This is
and
true.
it obviously has to be completely functioning all the time to drive. So I get to zoom him around all over, just like a teenager. But other than that, he can kind of take care of himself and do stuff. So that's the best analogy I can give you of how this whole process is.
Little acne there, teenage Adam.
She's being very nice. In all honesty, she has helped immensely. If anybody throughout this process has helped more than anybody, it's been my wife. When she was on bed rest because she was pregnant with our baby, and I was on crutches, plus we had a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and then she handles the baby all night by herself because, I'm more help than I was, but I was pretty useless. I'm not going to lie to you for a couple, 3 months. And a lot of times when we're doing Fourth and Pain, she watches all 3 kids by herself. So I'm going to sound politically correct, but honestly, she has helped immensely, and she has picked up a lot of the slack that, frankly, Chuck has left us with.
Well, thank you so very much. And you get in your shot at the end. Congratulations. Angie Carriker, be sure to follow her on Twitter at ANG Carriker, Ange Carriker on Twitter. Hot on my tail as far as followers. And so, Angie Carriker, this was The Pulse. We look forward to speaking with you again next week.
All right.
Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you very much. Don't go anywhere. This is Fourth and Pain. We'll be right back.